All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of my podcast at 2.0. My name is Brian. I am your host. I'm in a t-shirt today. I said, you know what? Today's Friday. I'm going casual. I set new rules for the studio. Jeanette said, hey, why didn't you tell me? So today, if you missed Sitch Radio's episode this morning, I highly encourage you to go over, search for a podcast called Sitch Radio. We also encourage you to do that on a podcast listening app called Fountain, because they pay you to listen to your podcast in Bitcoin, which is kind of cool. They give you a wallet. There's no craziness in setting it up. Even if you're not into Bitcoin, you can earn Bitcoin for listening, and you can give it right back to any creator that you're listening to via streaming support and or a boost. And if you send a boost, we will do our best to read it online if you send it to us. If you don't, I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that is okay. So today we are talking about plosives. Plosives. One of the hardest things that I have to do in the studio is constantly coaching my hosts on mic mouth placement. I was pointing to my mouth and trying to say mic, and that just got confusing. And everybody makes a mistake from time to time. I might look over here to this screen right as I'm popping a P, a T, and you're gonna, get that pop in your ears. And we do our best to minimize that. And it's a learned behavior. You'll see me do things like this, where I try to keep my mouth and mic the same distance apart. There's the P, why I'm speaking. But over here, I'm looking into the mic more. If you're listening to this, you do not want the mic right in front of your mouth. And let's go back to plosives. Plosives are when you say a letter or a syllable that emits a burst of air out of your mouth. For example, whether you're listening and or watching, you can put your hand right in front of your mouth, just about an inch off, and say, Peter Piper picked, and you're going to feel bursts of air. We don't want that hitting the mic. And if you're watching this and or other people on mics, you'll see that the mic's offset just a little bit, so that burst of air travels just past the mic and not directly into it, causing a plosive. So that's what a plosive is. And there's a few things you can do to minimize and mitigate the problem. Number one, having a nice windscreen on your microphone. You can put a pop filter in between your mouth and microphone. But when you're doing video, I would have this big round black circle hiding my face more than it is now with a mic there. And a lot of you might appreciate that. My mother always said I had a face for radio. However, I try to present myself when I'm doing this show, because it is audio and video. So if you're listening to this and want to watch this, you can head on over to Facebook, Facebook or YouTube, and check it out. We also do stream live to Twitch, but they do not stay there. I'm learning Twitch. I'm going to dive into Twitch more right after I get a better handle on Discord. But if you want to see the examples I'm talking about, you can head on over there. If not, hopefully I described it well enough for you, so you have a great understanding of what it is that I am talking about. So that's what plosives are, and that's why we do not want them when we're talking into a microphone. It's just unpleasant for the person to hear it. And if you speak on mic quite a bit, remember, imagine a string tied to your lip and to the microphone, and you can't get farther away or closer to it. You want to keep it taut. That's the way I describe it. And you can move around quite a bit. I can look at other things, and the volume's not increasing dramatically or decreasing. And hopefully those plosives aren't hitting the mic. Other than that, I really want to encourage you to head on over to feeddrops.com, feeddrops.com. If you are a podcaster, submit your show. It costs you absolutely nothing but a couple minutes of time. You're going to copy and paste your RSS link. You're going to copy and paste URLs to a couple of episodes you would like us to listen to. And when I say us, I'm referring to myself and Linz Florin of Growth Network Podcasts. Him and I host Feed Drops. And what we do is we take the submission list, we go through, Linz picks a show, I pick a show, we create some clips from it, we grab their cover art, we talk about their podcast on Feed Drops, sharing it with the world. And we're doing this so podcasters can get in front of different, newer audiences and hopefully grow their show. And if you like what we're doing at Feed Drops, you can subscribe to the Feed Drops newsletter, where every Monday you will get an email from us talking about the 2 shows with links to the show. That way you won't forget. And if you really love what we're doing, you can support not only the community, but the creative industry by heading on over to our Uncut page. There will be a link to that from Feed Drops, and become a Dropster. Join the Dropster community. And you do that by purchasing one of our NFTs. Only NFT holders are allowed in the Discord community. And what we're doing is building a community for not only creatives, but listeners, and a place where they can talk together if they so choose. It's going to be a nice, comfortable space to kick back, relax, and enjoy. And on that note, if you are heading to Podcast Movement, Linz Florin will be in attendance. I have to keep the lights on here at Sitch Radio and will not be in attendance, but find Linz and head on over to him and say, hey man, I hear you have a Dropster gift for me. And what he's going to do is give you an NFT, limited edition for Podcast Movement only, that gets you into the Dropster community. So what a great way. It costs you absolutely nothing. You'll get some access to the community, and just another great place to hang out and chat with other creatives and or podcast listeners. But listen, if you do purchase an NFT, 50% of the money generated is going back to nonprofits in the creative space. And you as an NFT holder will have a vote in which charity gets the bigger share of the pie. We're hoping to do it quarterly eventually. However, things start off slow, so we're probably not going to do our first vote until the end of the year and divvy up what funds have been generated. We want you to participate in that. Linz and I aren't looking to get rich off this, with 50% of it leaving the Dropster community. But again, that's another cool perk of being a community member. You get a say in what charity gets the biggest slice of the pie. That is all I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I want you all to have a great week. And remember, listen to your favorite podcasts on the Fountain app. And let me know if you dig what I'm doing. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.